Welcome to Monday Night Rants on the Bettor Sports Network. What is going on, everybody? Uh-oh, somebody has a case of the Mondays. Well, that's the way the cookie crumbles. And, well, Bob's your uncle. Rants on the Street with Thomas Stevens. Shout out to my producer, Tyler Heavy T. Soto. Boom. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Monday Night Rants on the Bettor Sports Network. That's at Bettor Network at all your favorite social media platforms, including X. That is right. And tonight is a celebration. That's right. 1 year on the Bettor Sports Network. Tonight is myself, Heavy T, Thomas Stevens, our 1 year anniversary again. We're celebrating. We are celebrating. I got my celebration outfit on. This is how I celebrate. Just like this. I cannot see out of these glasses. Well, anyways, we have a wonderful 1 year / 50th, by the way. This is also our 50th show on the Bettor Sports Network. 1 year anniversary, check. 50th show, check. A lot of fun tonight. Discount double check, baby. It's going down. Because at the end of the show, a movie review you will not want to miss. Our own Heavy T, Tyler Heavy T Soto, is going to give his movie review for 80 for Brady. They said, okay, he's just giving a normal movie review. That's fine. Well, if you haven't seen it, let me feed you my baby birds. Heavy T is a lifelong Falcons fan. 80 for Brady is about 4 elderly ladies who love Tom Brady and Gronk and Edelman. More on that later. And they make it to the Super Bowl. What Super Bowl is that? Oh, you know, the one where the Falcons blew the lead and won. Wait till you see when Heavy T finds out how the Patriots came back to win that Super Bowl. It's going to be a ton of fun. But like I said, 1 year anniversary, 50th show. Tonight, joining me, my guest. What better guest to have on than the one and only Bettor Boss? That's right. You've seen him in the chat. He will now be live tonight with me to talk about the Bettor Sports Network, a lot of the fun things we have coming for over the next year at the Bettor Sports Network. It's a lot of cool things, trust me. And a little bit of fantasy football draft knowledge, and we'll talk about some of our favorite picks. He's done a ton of drafts. I'm doing my first ever IDP league with Mr. Bettor Boss Matt Deutsch himself. The draft was weird. I think I held my own, so we'll talk to him about that as well. That's going to be a lot of fun. Always Rants on the Street with Thomas Stevens. And, of course, at the very end, the grand finale of the 1 year anniversary show. The all-encompassing movie review of 80 for Brady. I cannot wait. I am jumping for joy for that. All right. But, hey, it's football season, baby. We already have a Monday night game we could talk about right now. The Baltimore Ravens are facing the Washington football team Commanders of DC. And so far, not a whole lot has really gone down. Kind of got to watch the first quarter a little bit. It is Sam Howell. Sam Howell did start. He was named the starter for the Commanders. And not too terrible. Let's see here. He's 13 for 15 for 101 yards, no touchdowns. Terry McLaurin has had a good game. Dotson's been in there. Brian Robinson Jr., Antonio Gibson, Curtis Samuel. So all the starters really for the Commanders are in. Probably not for very much longer, if you will. The Ravens started 4th string quarterback tonight, Josh Johnson. Yes, that Josh Johnson. From the USFL or wherever football league, United Football Federation League of America, or whatever. He does have a touchdown, but he also threw an interception that was quite impressive from the defender. Check it out when you get a chance. I'm sure the highlights are all over the Twitter network, or X network, if you will. Justice Hill, 2 for 25. Melvin Gordon, I don't think he makes a team, 5 for 18. Zay Flowers got that touchdown on the first drive. Very impressive for him. I've been kind of impressed by Zay Flowers. Kind of down on him. We still don't know if Lamar Jackson's going to throw the ball more, coming off an injury. I don't know. But he's looked good in the preseason, that's for sure. So we'll follow up if anything crazy happens or any crazy injuries. But so far, just your normal preseason game between the Commanders and the Ravens. But it just makes me excited because football's back. Football is back. First Monday night game of the year. A preseason game, I know. But we're there. We're almost there. And I can't wait to do live betting again and all the fun things we do here on Monday Night Rants. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right. The Monday Night Rants Guillotine League draft will be next week. I think we have 13 people in, 12, 13, somewhere around there. We need to get to 18. There's 5 spots left, week left. It will fill up. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're doing the draft live on the show. And we could bring people on if you're in the draft. We'll give you a call-in link. You could call in, talk about what's going on. And every week, we're going to have to put someone on the chopping block on Monday Night Rants. You don't want to be that one week 1. I know. Somebody will. It is going to be a lot of fun. Okay, I can't see. I got to switch them up here. All right, here we go. All right. So that's next week. Also exciting, like I talked about last week, is Rival Fantasy Bingo. I've been playing it. I've been winning, doing baseball. I dabbled in a little of a preseason. They do have preseason bingo. It's really hard to decipher which backup player that the teams are actually going to leave in for you to play. So it's been a little hard. But I'm getting more and more excited for week 1 of bingo, and we'll have you covered here when that happens, week 1 of the NFL season. But get in, test it out with the preseason. It's only $1 a card, $1 a card. That's it at Rival Fantasy. And they also have challenges, and their season long should be out here shortly. I'm going to do a league on it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Sign up, join rival.com/alarm. Up to $200 deposit match, and your first bingo card free. Free. I cannot wait to have Neil back on and talk about Rival Fantasy and do bingo cards for Monday Night Football. I am giddy over it. Giddy. All right. So that leads us to week 2 of the preseason. Week 2 of the preseason is ending tonight with this game. So let's go over some winners and losers and maybe some case of the Mondays for a few here, if you will. We'll go over winners first. And a lot of these are going to be broken record. I said them last week. Why am I saying them again this week? Well, that's because they were just as good week 2 of the preseason than they were week 1. And some of them, I absolutely hate it. Because these guys are guys I've been touting that I'm one of my teams that are dominating preseason. But I know, Edward, it's just preseason. Yeah, but for at least a couple of series, you could actually see starting teams with their starters and how they're going to kind of go into the season by trying some new things. And what I saw from the Pittsburgh Steelers, once again, big winners, Pittsburgh Steelers, impressed me once again. Like I said, Kenny Pickett, a guy I'm targeting as my quarterback. Him and Jordan Love, more on him a little bit. Look good. Jaylen Warren. They're opening up lanes for Jaylen Warren. This Pittsburgh Steelers offense, this Pittsburgh Steelers team, could definitely be a sleeper team this year. And more of these players like Deontay Johnson, Pickens, even Warren had a huge bump in ADP because people like what they're seeing. This could be a really good offense in Pittsburgh this year, and Kenny Pickett's going to be at the center of it. Now, I don't think he's going to start the third game of the preseason. I wouldn't. I've seen enough. But let me tell you, the Steelers offense is very, very impressive. And they did it against the Buffalo Bills' first defense this last weekend as well. Pat Freiermuth got touchdown. Jalen Warren again. Like, it's insane what the Steelers team has been doing in the preseason. So we'll see how that cookie crumbles going forward. Another winner for me was, I think everybody's on the same page here. Tank Bigsby. Looking really good. He is looking like he should be the number one running back on the Jacksonville Jaguars. And he probably should. Because here on the show, I'm not very big on Travis Etienne. And he's a gimmicky player. I just never been sold on him. He got hurt. Like, I just don't. I know he's, Trevor Lawrence's guy, but it's never been sold on him. Even in college, I was like, he's just kind of a gimmicky player at Clemson, too. He has talent, but Tank Bigsby showed patience. Not the fastest guy, but his patience and his vision from what I saw. That dude looks like he should be a starting running back in the NFL. So he's a big winner of this preseason as well. Jordan Love, again, touchdown pass to my boy, Jaden Reed, who I've been talking about all preseason, all training camp. I love Reed in your dynasty. Love him as should be. Edward, they have Christian Watson. I'm telling you, Reed could be the number one receiver the next year or two. So we'll see how it plays out. I'm taking Jordan Love everywhere I can as my QB1 in redraft leagues at the end and loading up on those receivers or running backs, baby. Let's go. Let's go. All right, case of the Mondays, though. From the good to the bad. Here are some of the teams that were pathetic. Everybody on their mom.com feels like the Arizona Cardinals are going to be the worst team in football. They have the lowest over and under odds in Vegas. I'm changing my tune after 2 weeks of preseason. And I'm going to say that the Carolina Panthers, and I kind of dug into this a little bit last week, but the Carolina Panthers just look terrible. Their offensive line looks terrible. Bryce Young's out there getting hit, getting sacked in preseason at an alarming rate. Even Matt Corral, when he came in, he was getting hit. Offensive line looks terrible. I'm not on Miles Sanders. I don't even know Thielen. Like, the offense doesn't. I could see a scenario where the Panthers end up getting the first pick in the draft, which everyone knows Caleb Williams, right? But the Panthers obviously don't need Caleb Williams. Heavy T said, Bryce Young going to be looking like Chris Winkie. All right. That's a blast from the past there. I could see a scenario here where the Panthers end up having the number one pick. Don't need a quarterback because they have Bryce Young. It's going to be Caleb Williams. They can trade in. But from what I've seen in the preseason, I know it's just preseason, they do look like the worst team in the NFL going into this. Just nothing is lined up for the Carolina Panthers in preseason with their offense. Nothing. Their offensive line is terrible. Don't like it. So Carolina Panthers already. You get the...
Uh-oh. Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
Another team who has not looked terribly good is the Buffalo Bills. Offensively, they've been a little lethargic. I know it's preseason, but still, not what you would expect from a Buffalo Bills team. And you got drama with Stephon Diggs. It's just, I picked them to go to the Super Bowl preseason in my bold predictions at Fantasy Alarm against the Eagles. And I'm kind of regretting that a little bit now here. But they do have some good young receivers. Shakir, who I really, really love as being that number 3. I love the Kincaid draft pick. I think they're going to be okay. So let's not stretch out. But, man, did they look not good in their preseason games so far. So the Buffalo Bills.
Uh-oh. Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
And this one kind of sucks because I've always been rooting for this guy for a while. I'm talking about Teddy Bridgewater. Yes, number 50. Teddy Bridgewater. He literally was rocking number 50 on his jersey for the Detroit Lions over the weekend coming out. Now, he's had a lot of injuries, looked really good for Minnesota, was the starting quarterback for Denver for like half a year. Then last year, he got another chance with Tua injury. Then he got hurt again in Miami. I feel for the guy. He doesn't look like he wants to play football anymore. He's rocking number 50. He's out there for the Lions, who obviously Goff, but just not a good showing from Teddy Bridgewater. And I kind of feel like that's the last we're going to see from him ever in the NFL. So Teddy Bridgewater, number 50.
Uh-oh. Sounds like somebody's got a
Good
case
luck
of the Mondays.
in the XFL. All right, let's get to the rant lines. Jonathan Taylor, today, news came out. Here we are talking about Jonathan Taylor, talking about running backs again. The Colts did give him permissions to seek a trade. Okay, not surprising. Obviously, that relationship has hit a wall. Now, a lot of this is, what are the Colts going to get for Jonathan Taylor, right? They want a first-round pick or, a potential package of picks that could equal a first round, a second, a third, mixed into, So they're not looking for players. They want picks. Jonathan Taylor himself was a first-round pick, so I can see why they would want that. However, are there teams really lining up for Jonathan Taylor right now, this late? When you still got Leonard Fournette out there, I hate to say it, but Kareem Hunt, that are willing to give up a first-round pick, especially for next year's draft, which is a really good draft year, by the way? I don't see it. I just don't see it. Now, there's one team out there who is actually looking. Oh, we got a Heavy T showing us something. There we go. The Colts to get a first-round pick, there it is, or package of picks that equates as much in potential Jonathan Taylor. Okay, now who's going to do it? Literally 5 minutes after that, reports come in that the Dolphins are the team. Now, I thought the Dolphins would be the one that ended up with Cook. Obviously, they lost out. No Dalvin Cook, went to the Jets. Now, they do have a good little nucleus of running backs that are injury-prone, and A-Chain left on a cart over the weekend as well. Not good. That's the rookie, so I can see why they're looking for it. The Dolphins going to give up a first-round pick for Jonathan Taylor? Would that be worth it? I don't think so. Maybe a second and a third, but they're serious in this. It could be a good landing spot because Mozart and Wilson and A-Chain again. I don't know. Got to appreciate the tie under the smoking jacket. That's right. So my best Hugh Hefner impression here. So I can see that being a good fit. I still don't think he gets traded. I just think they're asking too much for that at this moment. I don't see a scenario where in the next week and a half, 2 weeks, they actually trade Jonathan Taylor and get what they want in return. It's more of like a standoff, if you will, than anything. So Miami, good luck, but I don't know. All right. I talked about the Stephon Diggs drama. If you live under a rock, Stephen A. Smith came on X or whatever, talking about how he has sources.
Come on, man.
That says that Stephon Diggs wants out of Buffalo and that he hates it there. That was his insight. Well, if you've listened to a lot of Stephen A.'s insight over the last 10 years, then kudos to you. You're probably stupider for doing it. Not the best in the world at that. But Stephon Diggs came out and said this is absolutely not true. This is from his own X account. I don't know who the source is, but thought he would nip this shiznit in the bud already. Yeah. So Stephen A. Smith, once again, blowing smoke up our bud, as Stephon Diggs would say. So I don't see it. Why would Stephon Diggs not be happy in Buffalo? He's literally on a team right now with one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, one of the best coaches in the NFL, one of the best stadiums and atmospheres in the NFL. The only team actually in New York. Why would he want to go somewhere else? They're in it every year. They're a Super Bowl contender every year. So when I saw that from Stephen A. Smith, I said, I don't believe this whatsoever. This is just smoke up our butt. So I think Stephon Diggs is just fine where he's at. He's a little bit of a prima donna, but he's a receiver one. What do you expect? So glad to see he came out and said something before Stephen A. got more credit for nothing. Once again. All right. This is one thing I don't understand. We're going to week 3 of the preseason. Week 3. This is when starters don't play. Backups try to win a job. For some reason, for some weird reason, the New York Jets, this has to be for Hard Knocks, right? This has to be for Hard Knocks. Has to. Are going to play Aaron Rodgers. What? Against the Giants? I know it's New York. New Jersey. But I don't know what they're doing here. Why? Risk any type of injury, your whole season's done. Anything. Don't do it. But they're going to do it. It has to be for them. It has to be. And if Aaron Rodgers is out to the field playing quarterback, then who's going to coach the team? That's a Hard Knocks call out for all you out there, by the way. So I don't know why they're doing it. I don't like it. Hopefully he doesn't get hurt. But if he does, I'm going to give the ultimate told you so that you've never seen in your life on next week's show. All right. Huge. I mean, huge. UFC card of the weekend. 292. One of the most watched cards of the year. Now, let me do. I don't like Sean O'Malley for the UFC. For MMA. That's what the UFC is. It's MMA. Sean O'Malley is not MMA. He's punch you. Everybody else and the UFC loves him because he's going to get views. He's going to make them a ton of money. Like what Conor McGregor did. Remember that? Here we are again. Sean O'Malley won with the right. And by the way, the ref stoppage, it was fine. It was too soon. The dude got hit. He kept on getting hit. He was trying to defend himself. I'm talking about Aljamain's. The ref actually waited longer than most do to call that. So I'm on the side of it was the right call. It obviously stung him. And I know Aljamain Sterling is one of the best in this class, if not the best of all time in this class. And he's had the belt for a while. He's a great wrestler, great grappler. Also strike. He's MMA'er. How many times can O'Malley get lucky and get an opening to knock someone out? McGregor couldn't hold the belt that long. I don't know. He's literally McGregor 2.0. He even has a similar chest tattoo that McGregor has. So I don't know what to think of it, who he's going to fight next. There's been rumblings. I mean, that whole class after these two are kind of really jumbled of Spider-Man memes. And the pay-per-view is going to get a lot of money. A lot. Just because of him. Again, I don't like it for the sport of MMA or UFC. But I like it for the UFC, if that makes sense. Also, by the way, Vegas lost a ton of money on that fight. A ton. When we talked about it last Monday, it was at minus 270, minus 280 for Aljamain Sterling. By the time it closed on DraftKings, minus 115. Yes, 80% of the public all week on O'Malley. They'll fix the odds for next time, trust me. But my goodness, did they lose a lot of money. Luckily, there's like 10 other fights, and they still did okay. Pretty sure. The Willie fight is kind of what we thought it was going to be. Just mauling, smothering, grinding the way she knows how to win. I don't think Lemos ever had a chance. I talked about it last week. It was really one-sided the entire time. It was kind of what we thought. And there's a chance here that Wiley could end up being maybe the next Amanda Nunes in the UFC for women. Just constantly winning. No one can stop her. She's too overall good at everything. She lost the belt once. She got it back. I don't see her losing it anytime soon. A great MMA fighter. So we were right on that one. For sure. The Gary fight with Neil Magny was something to behold. Obviously, Gary got to Magny quickly. Hurt his legs. It showed. He was limping around. Magny did not look like he wanted to be there at all. They were flipping each other off, yelling at each other, and Gary was toying with him. Gary is Conor McGregor 3.0. However, this is a fight when you have somebody hurt that early on and their legs and they're literally limping. He should have put him out. Going the distance, not a good look. That's still a win, but he should have put him out. Champions find a weakness, exploit it, and put them out. So he has a lot to learn still. He's only 25 years old, by the way. So I think it was like a perfect score. It went 10-8 every round. Should have put him out. So overall, a really good card. We don't have, I think the next one is 3 weeks. We'll talk about it again. I think projection-wise, when me and Thomas Stevens did last week, I think we did pretty good. We hit about, well, I was up a little bit of money. Then I started to go live a little bit and got a little crazy. They went the distance, not going for speed. Yes. He asked, though, about, that's a good question from the chat from Wade. He said, how many times is it luck before it's skill? That's a good question. Even the best boxers in the world, which is all punching, don't knock somebody out every time. There's undefeated boxers out there. But how many times have we seen Floyd Mayweather towards the end of his career running around the ring? Jab, 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 jab. Going the whole distance. A lot. That was kind of his move. For a MMA fighter to knock somebody out every fight. And by the way, that's how he's going to have to do it, because if it goes the distance, that tells me whoever he was fighting against smothered him, took him down the ground, took ground control, which he would lose. It would be something like we've never seen in the UFC before. We thought we were going to see it with Conor McGregor. Look how that turned out. So I would like to see it. It'd be fun. But come on. Eventually, he's going to get overpowered in other parts of the game where he's clearly weaker in. So there you go. All right. 1 year anniversary, 50th show. Monday Night Football preseason style. After the break, joining me will be Thomas Stevens. That's right. The Rants on the Street. And after that, Bettor Boss himself joins to talk 1 year of the Bettor Sports Network and more. We'll see you after the break, my fellow ranters. Boom.
Breece Hall right now, and I've talked to plenty of high-stakes players, I'm sure you have too, Kev. Had Hall not torn his ACL last year, he might have been the 101 in drafts this year. That's how good he was looking last year, and obviously with the addition of Aaron Rodgers. At the 305, running back 11 behind Derrick Henry and Ramondre Stevenson, right ahead of Jahmyr Gibbs and Najee Harris. Your thoughts on him as a mid-third round pick? How have you been attacking him? Have you been getting him at that spot so far this year?
Yeah, if I start out with two wide receivers, Breece Hall is right at the top of the queue coming into the third. If I knew he'd be healthy for week one, I was still a little
Well, he'd be going higher than the mid third.
Right. He may go 101 or well RB1 at least.
Yeah.
But I don't think we know that even if he's healthy in spring and the summer.
Mm-hmm.
I still like if I'm running a team, if I'm the coach, I'm bringing him back slow. Like he's on a pitch count. Like I want him for the end of the season because I got Aaron Rodgers for the playoffs, right? Like even if he's fully healthy, I would work him in slow. But that is actually what you want. Like he's still going to get the high value touches. So yeah, if we know he's healthy, he's a first rounder. So like if he's sitting there in the third, especially when I get 2 wide receivers to start, I'll take Hall all day.
Yeah, it almost makes me think that the uncertainty with Breece Hall has made him unfairly fall too far, right? Like because we're talking about the team here in June. They're still hoping that he's ready for week 1. This is not, we'll see what happens. We're taking it day by day. We're liking how he's coming along. No, they still think by week 1. And the fact that we have that timeline, I think, maybe bumps him up, especially as the drafting season gets deeper and deeper here in July and August. Maybe we start seeing him go up the boards as well.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Monday night Rants on the Bettor Sports Network. That's at Bettor Network and all your favorite social media platforms, at Fantasy Alarm as well. Commanders touchdowns. Sam Howell still in the game. I'm kind of a Sam Howell believer. 18 for 24, 176 on a touchdown to Brown right now. He's probably done for the half, but he's looked pretty good the preseason. And last week, the end of the season, the last game, he looked good as well. However, Terry McLaurin just left the field in pain and is now going to the locker room. Boo. Boo! I like Scary Terry. So, not good. Don't like to see it in the preseason. Joining me, though, now to talk a little about that, some UFC and, of course, Rants on the Street for the 1-year anniversary of Monday Night Rants on the Bettor Sports Network, yes, Thomas Stevens. What's going on, my friend?
Nothing much. Can't believe it's been a year. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, this year. I feel like New Year's was yesterday.
Yeah, seriously, right?
Here we are, almost.
It flies by. We're already about in September.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Are you staying dry down there?
Yeah, I'm staying dry. I think definitely thought it was going to be a little bigger than it was. I think we had a worse storm back in February than the tropical storm that we had last night. But yeah, I stayed dry. The only thing that happened is my power shut out for about 2 hours maybe. So other than that was good.
Yeah, I just had a little bit of wind, like the very first night that blew over my fence again.
Yeah, there you go.
And that was it. Really, the rain, it was kind of too warm here for the rain. It just became those big drops, like no flooding, nothing. Just a couple of trees from the wind fell over the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, the wind was definitely the worst part for sure. I mean, it got a little windy for 30-minute span down here, and then it calmed down.
Everyone's dry. Everyone's safe. It was all a lie. Anyways, you watched UFC? I know you did.
Of course, man. Of course. And what a week.
What are your thoughts on O'Malley being the champion?
I'm happy. I've always liked the guy. I always admit, when I'm wrong. I did have Sterling, to win that fight. I just thought he was the more talented fighter. He had more in his arsenal, but Sean O'Malley got him exactly how we said it last week. We said it on air last week, dude. Like if O'Malley catches him with the right, if O'Malley catches him with whatever, he can put him to sleep. And it's exactly what he did. He, the video is so funny because you see Sterling close his eyes, like he knew.
Yeah,
right.
It was coming. Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was dope. Great co-main too. Zhang absolutely dominated DFS scores as well.
Oh, dude, that's insane. I had like 190 points.
Yeah. Insane amount of points. So yeah, no, great card. A lot of fun. I'm excited for the next one. I'm excited for this upcoming Saturday. We got, Korean Zombie and Holloway. That'll be a good one.
That's a good fight night.
Yeah, no, 100%. Sure. Yeah. I mean, anytime you have like a big name guy on a fight night, it's always fun, you know.
Kind of two big names. It'll be fun.
For sure.
Checking that out for sure. So yeah, ultimately I did okay. I was up in DFS, but I had Sterling. So that kind of killed me at the end. But betting wise, I just a little bit over break even, so not bad there. Even with my last minute while drinking beer and
put in a bet.
Yeah. But ultimately, it's a great card, and we'll see how many times he can do it in a row. I don't think very many, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, who's his next? Who's going to be his next guy? I know he's calling out Cheeto, but I don't think that makes sense.
No, that doesn't make any sense at all. Yeah, I don't know.
It'll be interesting because that division is very interesting. You know, so we'll see.
Yeah, there's like 5 guys just under them that are all like Spider-Man meme guys, and they're all wrestling, and it's a wrestling and grappling division, and then O'Malley.
Yeah, literally. Yeah,
one of those guys has to be able to take him down and smother him and take it all from him. So we'll see how long we can go. I got to give shout out to your Pittsburgh Steelers again, man.
Yeah, for sure. We were texting about it. Yeah,
continuing to just look good on the first team offense. A completely different look offense than we saw last year too.
Yeah, a lot more pass downfield in the middle. Yeah, I mean they like it. Oh, I hope it's not because last preseason everyone was young and it was their first years, but we looked really good last preseason and then went into the regular season. Obviously the quarterback troubles, but the offensive play calling was absolutely atrocious. So as long as they keep going down the field with the ball and not backwards with reverses and slants and stuff like that, I think we have a solid chance, man. We could be good.
Sleeper team.
Sure. I know. Right. I love it. You text me. tell him to calm down.
Stop it. Yeah. These are all my players I'm picking up in drafts. Yeah, like stop it, people. All right, you want to do a rant on the street?
Yeah, let's get into it. Number one will be in the NFL. It's an interesting question. If you could go to one NFL game this regular season, what would it be? It has to be in the regular season. You could choose any regular season game to go to for free.
Well, okay. I would want to go to a Buffalo Bills home game only because it just looks like so much goddamn fun.
Yeah.
They're jumping on tables, they're playing beer pong. It's like a WWE match in the parking lot before. And then nobody sits down, everyone's standing up, and if it's snowing, they're throwing snow around and snowballs, and it just looks like so much fun that I kind of would like to just go to a Bills home game. That'd be fun. But
they don't even have to be playing the Chargers, huh?
Yeah, I know. What is okay, we do have a Super Bowl matchup.
We do.
Rematch this year in Kansas City between the Eagles and Kansas City. That'll be fun. Probably the most watched game of the season. But yeah, for the most part, I think I'll just take the Bills at home. Just a game.
For sure. Yeah. Be fun. I can't argue with that. I mean, I'm gonna go the simple answer. I would love to go to a Steelers-Ravens game in Baltimore. In Baltimore especially would just be so cool, man. I would love to just
Baltimore
the villain card, the villain card. So plus like there's just something about East Coast environment, man, with sports, like they rock hard, man.
West Coast is a little laid back.
Yeah, 100% for sure. So I don't know, that would be my answer probably, but I will say though a Super Bowl rematch, to see Mahomes in person, especially too.
At Arrowhead.
Yeah, at Arrowhead. That's so loud. That would be pretty sick.
It's going to be electric on Sunday night as well, I believe.
It is. Is it a? Well, I think it's like week 7.
Yeah, it's like in the middle of the season.
Yeah, around there, right?
I do know it's a Sunday night game because they're already hyping it. Of course.
Number 2, which quarterback will have better success on their new teams? Jimmy G, Baker Mayfield.
I have to answer this.
Oh, you got it, man.
Jesus.
Yeah, this is an interesting one.
They both have similar weapons. But the Raiders have a better offensive line. So I kind of have to go Jimmy G just from that aspect. And Baker Mayfield still. I know he had that one crazy game where he came back and won last year for the Rams with nobody on the team.
Yeah.
But I just don't know. I'm gonna go with Jimmy G.
Horrible
If he can stay healthy,
Uh-huh.
just because of the Adams effect. I know that Mayfield has, Evans and
Yeah.
I'm going with Jimmy G just from the effect of the offensive line is better, can keep him upright, and
Yeah,
he
for
does
sure.
have a better arm
Mhm.
than Baker Mayfield has.
Mhm.
So I'll say Jimmy. I hate it. I hate
Yeah.
it.
I was about to say, as hard as it is. to
Neither
say.
team makes the playoffs, and I think they're both going to
Mhm.
be in contention for a top 5 draft pick.
Mhm.
But I'm
Sure.
going to say Jimmy G has a better season.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel really bad.
You got to go for it. As hard as it is to say, I mean,
Yeah.
Jimmy G is the easy answer in my opinion. Baker is still trying to find his way in this league. Jimmy G has found his way. He just signed the deal with the Raiders. Not going to be good, but the offense will be better over there in Vegas than it will in Tampa Bay. It'll be more of a West Coast short passing, run the ball to Zamir White, and hopefully Josh Jacobs comes back. So I think an easier system for him, but it's a it's a hard answer to say Jimmy G is going to be better than somebody else. So,
Oh God, I can't believe I said that.
delete the clip. Delete the clip.
Yeah, take that out, Heavy T. Listen to the replay for on demand. Just delete that part.
Yeah. Number 3. This one will make up a little better. I like this one. LOL. If you could take one rookie, and like we talked, besides Bijan Robinson, and put him on your team, what rookie would it be?
Offense or defense, or doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter.
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, I would take Anderson to
Yeah,
be on
that's
to
yeah.
be on the Chargers line. I mean, why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah.
It'd have to be Anderson. I mean,
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. That's mine too.
if
Well,
I had to
it's
choose
crazy.
someone on offense,
Mhm.
obviously I like the Quentin Johnson pick, and he's been pretty good in the preseason. But I would like just, even though there's hype around that undrafted running back, dude, what I'm seeing out of Tank Bigsby,
Mhm.
that's
Very
just,
solid, man.
yeah,
For sure. For sure.
we'll see how it goes into the. But
Mhm.
if he ends up being like a, Maurice Jones-Drew type running back for Jacksonville, which he could,
Mhm.
looks like he could be with that
Mhm.
vision and the patience.
Mhm.
That's
no,
a nasty
I
combination with all those receivers and,
Yeah, for sure.
and Trevor
100%.
Lawrence.
Yeah. And they ETN, they don't want him to get hurt. They've came out and they've said it. They said that the load's going to be down from last year with Bigsby here. Yeah, no, Tank Bigsby's going to be legit.
And ETN is just not good. Gotta realize that.
Yeah.
It's not good in the NFL. He's
Uh-huh.
a great gimmick player.
Mhm,
He can catch the
100%.
ball out of the backfield, but he hasn't done that even in the NFL now. It's like
Mhm.
he's just Trevor Lawrence's guy. It's all it is.
Yeah, for sure. Clemson. Yeah. Mine's simple. It's Anderson. I don't want to spend too much time on it. We're thin on linebackers. That's what we've always been thin on. And I know he's an edge kind of rusher too, but he's insane.
Play
He
both,
looks
yeah.
insane in his preseason games. So that's my easy answer, man. I take him. Other than that, though, definitely would take Bijan Robinson. If he was available there, I'd love to have that guy. But Heavy T gets to have him. So
Out of all the running backs, I mean, to be honest, a lot of them have looked really good in the preseason.
yeah,
These running backs.
Even
always
Deuce
look pretty
Vaughn.
good.
Even Deuce Vaughn.
Deuce Vaughn,
impressive.
Tyjae Spears
Spears
over the
looks
weekend. Dwayne McBride got a touchdown from Minnesota.
Mhm.
It's crazy. This is gonna be in a year where a lot of these running backs end up starters in like year 2,
Yeah, for
year
sure.
3, and
It's the direction.
which is not good for all these current starting running backs
Yeah.
wanting money. I'll tell you
Mhm.
that. This is
For
not
sure.
a good time to be doing that, but
It's the new wave.
it is.
Just plugging running backs in. It's the new wave. So
Unfortunately, that's how
yeah.
he is crumbling.
Number 4, we'll switch gears, go all the way to the NBA. This one, is actually pretty interesting. I don't think we've ever, done something like this. If me and you, we're playing street ball and Paul George and Jason Tatum walks up onto the court and me and you got to watch them 1v1, who's winning that 1v1?
That's a good question.
It
In
is.
their prime,
This is an interesting one. Let's just do
Paul
yeah,
George in his prime versus Jason Tatum now.
Let's do the best versions of themselves.
I would say Paul George.
Mhm.
Now, currently, Jason Tatum. But Paul George, when he was in his prime, the dude single-handedly took a team that shouldn't have no business being in the
Yeah,
playoffs, almost
definitely.
to a championship.
Very close.
Also, a better two-way player
Mhm.
defensively and offensively than Tatum is.
Mhm.
And Tatum has a tendency to kind of disappear.
Oh, 100%.
I don't want to. I know, but
Yeah.
remember the bubble playoffs? Paul George's playoff P, pandemic P. Okay, but take that aside. Like when he's on the court, Paul George puts up numbers,
Mhm.
and Tatum does too. But there's some times where he just kind of
Mhm.
wanders off, and it's
For sure.
So
sure.
I would have to say Paul George is prime 100%. Now Tatum would probably win because
Mhm.
does George have any shoulders or legs
Yeah.
left? I don't think so.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
All he has left is his head and his toes. His
Mhm.
knees and shoulders are out. So his song would
100%.
just be head, toes.
Yeah, man. I don't know. In my opinion, I honestly, believe it or not, obviously prime, I'm going Paul George, but I swear, fully healthy, like no injuries, all these injuries are put to side. If we're playing 2K, we turned them off. I actually think Paul George still can easily win that game, 100%. Paul George, in my opinion, besides Kyrie Irving, is the smoothest player in the NBA. Paul George is so nice to watch when you watch him play basketball, man. I mean, and the thing about Kyrie is Kyrie's a 6'3" guard, and Paul George isn't huge, but Paul George is a small forward, shooting guard around there. And the handles and the way he can create his own shot, and still can, lock it down on defense when fully healthy. So honestly, I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I would take Paul George prime and still right now fully healthy. I would. I think it'd be very close, but I think the defense edges Paul George still, and I think you could win that. So
Now Kyrie Irving is smooth.
yeah,
Offensively.
Mhm.
But part of his game, like he says, the earth kind of falls flat.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Mhm.
I've been waiting for that
I
one.
like that. That was a great
I
one.
think Heavy T just cringed in the.
No, that was a good one. That was a good You still got the one button?
Oh, I do. They all moved. I got new ones.
There we go. Yeah, so Kyrie dies from cringe.
He just died from cringe. All right. So much for our 80 for Brady review later. By the way, you have to stick around to watch that.
For sure. I will.
He took video of it. There's video evidence of him watching the movie.
Really?
And his emotional state. Talk about ups and downs of emotions. You'll die laughing. It's crazy.
It gives you something to watch later.
Oh yeah. Just make sure after Bettor Boss is on.
Mm-hmm.
After that, we'll be doing it the last half hour. It's a 7-minute video of him watching this movie. and the ups and downs, the highs and lows are insane.
For sure.
And like, I'm not gonna give it away, but there's one part in the video where you could tell like he may seriously rethink that they do have a chance to win this game watching this. His emotions are like what he would be actually watching the Super Bowl, like what it was. That's how invested he was.
I'm watching it. For sure.
It's a lot of fun. Oh yeah, make sure you jump on YouTube, check that out when you're on.
All right, for sure. Number 5. Simple question, and I feel like we've obviously touched probably on this question before. It's a pretty straightforward question, but they want to know, in my opinion and your opinion, who is the best player offensively in the NBA right now?
That's a tough question. There's different types of offense. There's shooting offense, like obviously Stephon Curry is the best shooter we've ever seen. He's the best shooter in the NBA, no doubt about it. But his kind of lacks going hard into the paint type of thing. And then you have Kevin Durant, who could pull up and shoot it from anywhere. He can also get into the paint with his large, skinny frame, but his 3-point shooting has lacked for the last 5 years. So he could be the best offensive player, but there's always one weakness in all these different offensive players. I got to say the one that has no weakness in everything from 3-point shooting to
I know you're going to take it. Say it.
Is Luka. Okay. He's the only one. His defense terrible, but he could use his body to drive the lane. He could pull up and shoot a 3 from the logo at a good clip. He could pull up and shoot it from anywhere. He could facilitate with his team, whoever he has on his team anymore. But but the Joker's good offensively too, but his game is just different, and he is more of a, I will score 10 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, triple-double guy, where Luka will go for 40.
Yeah.
With 10 assists and 9 rebounds. So I think I'm going Luka here as being currently the best offensive player all around in the NBA.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anybody could argue with you saying Luka. I mean, the things that Luka Doncic does with the basketball at a slow motion pace too. That's what I always like to put that in. Like he's the guy that, gets buckets on you at the gym and you're just absolutely pissed because he's doing the same move over and over again and he's slow, but
can't stop it without fouling him. Yeah.
Exactly. So Luka Doncic is definitely the easy answer. I think, touching on Jokic is also accurate. Nikola Jokic does things on an NBA court that not a lot of people can do. But like you said, he
doesn't score a lot of points, though.
For sure. 100%. Yeah. You got a guy who does the exact same numbers, but, he's putting up 40. So, and, Jokic also has the position's different. He also has a lot of better players around him to be able to pass that ball too, So Luka's the easy answer. He does things that nobody else can do in this league, man. Stepping back from 40 feet, you know what I mean? But also having 10 assists and getting 10 rebounds.
I think him and Steph are the only two to ever get the double bang.
Yeah.
Bang.
Double bang.
The double bang. So, wow. Family shit, I know. But, yeah. Yeah, I mean, Luka all around. So, there you go. I'm going to ask you a couple questions here. We got a little bit of extra time. We'll start. What's your bold prediction for the NFL season?
Bold prediction, huh?
Whether it's a team, and don't say the Steelers, that you think could surprise, or a quarterback that wins a job, or a trade. Like, what do you think is something that you think could happen that no one's really talking about? That's kind of like a bold take.
Yeah. Let's see. I think this has been talked about, but I'll throw it out there. I think the Falcons have a successful season. I think that they win that division.
The Saints offense looks really good.
It does, for sure, 100%. But yeah, I mean, I knew it. He's gonna love that one. But I like the Falcons, man. I think that their run game is gonna be insane. It really relies on Ritter, but I like what I've seen so far. He looks solid. He looks, nothing crazy, but he looks like he can get the job done. Drake London, I've always been very big on Drake London. I like the big body receivers. So I do want to throw that out there, but also. I'm interested to see what happens in Vegas with the quarterback position. I really am. I think Jimmy G will start, obviously, and he'll be okay, but they're not. You really don't play a player like Jimmy G when you're absolutely less than mediocre. You really want to see what you have. So I'm not too sure what the name is.
Are you on the Aiden O'Connell train?
I am on that train. I swear. I've watched him. I'm like, dude, this cat he looks good, man. This guy looks freaking good. And I think that when you're in a position that the Raiders are, where it's like, what the hell do we have to lose, especially halfway into the season or a little bit past halfway into the season, I could see him taking that starting job.
Me too, especially injury-wise, right? We haven't seen Jimmy G stay healthy for a full season, if ever. And he's looked pretty good. I'm not going to lie. And his arm strength, surprising.
Talented. Yeah, talented for sure.
So, there's always someone like that, like the Brock Purdy of this year, and Aiden O'Connell could be that too. Another guy too is Dorian Robinson from
on the right, for sure.
Looking really good this preseason. If anything were to happen where another lawsuit comes up or anything where which that could happen any day.
Yeah. For sure.
Get that man away from a massage parlor instead. But Thompson Robinson could take over that starting job. It looked really good. Looked better than whatever else they have over there. So
yeah, no, for sure. The wheels, the legs. I mean, and DTR's question has always been, his throwing capabilities if he could throw the ball, but he's been looking good, man. The ball's coming out of fire.
Wait, where's Elijah Moore?
Yeah,
run.
Literally. That's another one that I'm like, shh. I'm like, please be.
Yeah, they have another one that's kind of like similar to your Calvin Austin that's named like Austin Calvin or something that's been dominating in preseason. I'm like,
really?
There's Austin Calvin and Calvin Austin. Like, what's going on here? Or is it's Austin? Is it Austin here?
If it's Austin Calvin, that is hilarious.
Preseason stat leaders. He's like the leader in all receiving here. It's Austin Watkins. That's right.
Austin Watkins. Okay.
So you have Calvin Austin. Austin
Watkins. A little speedster?
He's 245 receiving yards here. Wow. But by the way, Thompson Robinson leads all preseason in passing yards. Aiden O'Connell has the pretty much a perfect pass rating. So he leads in pass rating here. Wow. So all the guys we're talking about here. And in case you're wondering, Greg Zuerlein leads the preseason in all scoring with 25 points.
He's been kicking since the Hall of Fame game, so.
Jesus. Oh yeah, he has an extra game too. That's why. Okay. Makes sense why they're all Browns players in here and Jets players.
Jets players, yeah.
So, what do you think? So I asked you, let's do real quick, and then I'll let you go. Bold, because dude, it's September.
Yeah.
NBA starts in October.
Yeah, we're coming back for sure. Yeah.
Bold NBA prediction for the NBA season.
Oh man. Like I said, kind of surface level with the Falcons as well. But we have talked about this so much, and I think you kind of know maybe what I'm going to say. But Oklahoma City Thunder are going to be absolutely
The playoffs, no play.
100%. They will be better than they were last season, which was already near a playoff team. Chet looks awesome. I mean, he blocking shots. He gained some muscle. You know what you got from Shai. You know what you got from Giddey. Jalen Williams the good, better Jalen Williams took a huge step up last year. Polk is very, I hate to say the full name, but Polk, whatever his name is super lengthy. They're a good team, man. They're scary. They still got draft picks. They are the future, in my opinion, for sure. So that's definitely my bold prediction that I will stand on through this season.
The Indiana Pacers make the playoffs.
That's interesting. That's it. That's I have no problem with that.
And I think higher up than you would think, like maybe in that 6-5 era.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, the East is, if they were in the West, I'd say no freaking way. But when you're in the East, I think Indiana, it's not crazy to say. They have good pieces. They've had good pieces for a while. So
there you go.
It's really just getting over the hump for Indiana. Like Indiana always seems to just be there, and they don't.
They have a really good young team now, and
for sure,
we talked about it last week. Halliburton is good. Like he could be that Paul George, like when the Indiana team made the runs back in the day, like 7 years ago, 5-7 years ago. But I just really like him, and I was doing some research over the week, like because we talked about it last week, like going into the season because I'm already getting pumped up for NBA. I got NFL and NBA already, all within like 2 months. And I just like what I see on paper that team has done. So there you go.
For sure. Yeah.
Bold NFL prediction and bold NBA prediction all in one from my boy Thomas Stevens.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you so much. Tell everyone real quick where to find you, where to ask questions. And Guillotine League, you're in. I know you're in. I saw you in there. Of course. Filling up. We just got 2 more entries today. We have about 4 or 5 more people, and we're doing it next week. So no rants on the street next week.
Guillotine League.
You will be here live for the draft, though.
Ooh, I'm excited, man. I got to get ready, dude. 18-man Guillotine League.
Nobody wants to be that first one to be cut. Yeah. It's going to be rough. And each week I'm announcing who gets cut.
Good.
There's going to be a whole button ordeal. You've been eliminated. It's gonna,
live elimination.
Definitely case of the Mondays. All right, my friend. Well, thank you so much. We'll see you next week for the draft. Great questions again. Oh, I got to give a hoodie out. I'm going the hoodie 1-on-1. Paul George.
I knew it. I love it. That's a good question.
Give me their information. I'll send them a Monday Night Rants hoodie, and soon Monday Night Rants Playboy smoking jackets too. Coming soon. All right, we're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, as promised, the one and only. You've seen him in the chat. You've seen him all over everywhere. That Bettor Sports Network. The one and only Bettor Boss is joining me for the 1-year anniversary of Monday Night Rants on the Bettor Sports Network. We'll see you after the break, my fellow ranters. Bettor Boss, Matt Deutsch. Boom.
What can we expect from you out there on the track tonight?
Listen, I have a wife, 2 kids. I have, full-time jobs. I'm never nervous. I don't even know what that word means. Can you explain what nervous means? No. I'm ready to have fun. I've never done anything like this before. I got asked to be a part of this. This is fascinating. Like, it's so cool to just look around and see what goes on here. So I'm just excited to get out on the horse. And you want trash talk? Is that what you're asking me for? No trash talk. I hope everyone does well.
All right. Everyone's going to do well, but it has to be a winner. So give me your trifecta. Who's going to come in first, second, and third? Your heat.
I will go Maria 1, me 2, Willie 3, Moose goes 4th.
Well, it's very simple. I won this event last year. I won my heat, and so the defending champ has to be the favorite. Now, that makes me a little nervous just because I feel like it's hard to repeat. There's a little pressure when you're the favorite, but that being said, I'm still optimistic.
So your heat, it's you,
yes.
Moose and Keith from Bettor Sports Network, and Willie Colon.
I think Keith might be my stiffest competition, and I asked for this because I actually recruited Keith, if you didn't know. So Keith, if you win, you're welcome.
Malusis is very good. I mean, he knows what he's doing. But I'm going to go with Maria.
Keith is waving to the crowd. He must pay attention because they're off. It's Mark Malusis going for the lead. Maria Marino on the outside. And now Keith Irizarry on the outside with speed. And they're 3 wide into the first turn. Woo! Mark Malusis is locked in for his life. 138 and 2. They're into the stretch. Sportscasters Derby 2. And still in front, Keith Irizarry. And now Mark Malusis is trying to squeeze on through.
Come on! Back! Come on! Let's go! Come on, dig it! Dig it! Yeah!
Keith Irizarry. Keith, you did it all the way, wire to wire, over Mark Malusis.
Awesome! That was so cool!
The champ is here! Keith, what was it like being out there? Adrenaline rush, you were doing the Instagram Live, so there was no panic. You looked cool, calm, collected the whole time, and you won it.
I felt really comfortable. I did. Like, I know you were joking with me before. Are you nervous? Are you whatever? What are you? David, the driver, was awesome. He's like, we're going to win this. I said, all right, let's win this. And he said, let's go. Yeah, I just felt really comfortable. I did. It was fun. We're in the lead. I got Maria Marino on the right side of me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's going to beat us, right? And then out of nowhere, you see Moose coming up this way, and we feel him breathing down our neck. And I'm like,
Moose
no!
on the loose. Watch out.
Moose was definitely on the loose, and we just got Moose by a neck, a nose, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, but again, all of this for a great cause, and it was absolutely awesome to do this. It was cool.
All right, Keith, congratulations. And no matter what, you could always hold this over Moose's head.
Yeah!
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Monday Night Rants on the Bettor Sports Network. That's at Bettor Network and all your favorite social media platforms, and at Fancy Alarm and all your favorite social media platforms, including X. Joining me now for the 1-year anniversary, the 50th show, Bettor Sports Network. Who else but the man himself, Bettor boss, Matt Deutsch.
Woo! Yes. Happy anniversary. It's been an awesome year.
Thank you. I hope you've enjoyed what we've done here and some of the things we've created. I've forced poor Tyler to eat 2 pickles. And wait, after this, wait till you see his movie review of 80 For Brady. It's going to be incredible. There's video. He took a whole video of him watching it. Obviously, you know, he's a Falcons fan, so he had to sit through the Super Bowl again. So check that out, by the way. It's going to be a lot of fun. I know you're a Commanders fan, right?
That's right. I'm raising my kids local Jets and Giants, but I grew up Washington, 1982 Super Bowl, John Riggins running over the Dolphins. I jumped right on the bandwagon, and yeah, it's been quite a run for the Washington football team, but I'm still pulling for them.
I do, and I have been one of the biggest guys, and just from last year, week 18, I do like Sam Howell. I liked him in college. I liked what he did the one game he started last year. He can make some incredible throws, and he made a couple again tonight where I'm like, this guy can be a starting quarterback in the NFL, and he has all the weapons around him. So I like what I'm seeing out of Sam Howell, and I'm kind of a believer. How do you feel about Howell?
Well, you're the college guy. I don't know anything about these guys in college. Our boy Coop says Sam Howell's slow, and I thought I liked what I saw, and I trust my guy Rick Kamla, who had a first-round grade on Howell, and I thought it was a good pick by Washington, and I think it's very likely they have a different quarterback next year to start. Could be anyone, a draft pick, a rookie, Kyler Murray, anybody, but Howell this year, why not? I like the weapons.
Yeah, I'd rather have Howell over Kyler Murray at this point. Come on. No?
Yeah, I'm not a Kyler Murray guy, but I think anything can happen. I think Arizona will have a new starting quarterback next year as well. It will not be Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I agree with that. They're going to probably be in the Caleb Williams era starting very soon there in Arizona. So one thing you have me doing that I have never done is you had me join a IDP league with you and a bunch of other, family here at the network and Fantasy Alarm and whatnot. My first time drafting, so I think I did okay. We'll see. It's a Dynasty League too, which is we'll see. I think I did okay.
I'm gonna go check it out now and see what
I got Spears was my first pick. Tajay Spears, who's looked good. And then I kind of went, okay, what's the weakness of my team? I had no running backs at all of the team that I took over. So my quarterbacks are fine. I have Kyler Murray, ironically enough, in that league, but obviously not playing him. But so Spears, and then I went kind of like tiered one defenders, because looking at the point structures, people forget that in these IDP leagues, the defenders can score as many points in a game as a running back or a wide receiver one. So it's important to actually pay attention, obviously. So I think I did okay and maybe turning a team around into a championship contender relatively quickly, but it's been a lot of fun drafting, and I look forward to it this year. How do you think I did here?
Well, if you do IDP right, like the way we do, we weight the category, we weight the scoring position. So defensive tackles get more points for a sack than the linebackers do. Otherwise, it's all about who has the most middle linebackers. It's no fun.
Yeah.
And you have to play a full boat, at least 8 starters. I prefer 11 on defense. You can't do these 2 or 3 individual defensive players and call it. You got to do the full boat. So if you weight the category, if you weight the positions, it is a lot of fun. J.J. Watt was the #1 overall scorer one year. He beat out Aaron Rodgers in an MVP season because we award offensive points to the defensive players as well. So Watt was catching passes. He was returning interceptions. Watt was a madman. So this is a fantastic format. You took Dalton Kincaid with the 9 overall.
That's right.
Good pick. It's a PPR league. Good pick there. You can start multiple flex here. Tajay Spears, tough.
I got him in the second round.
Yeah, Spears in this league, we've got a proud Tulane alum in this league. Our commissioner's a Tulane guy, so I think that's where Spears went, right?
Yeah.
Spears is a coup because Jamie is perpetually rebuilding. He's got 1 million picks. I can't believe you got Spears at 21. And then a typical Edward draft. I don't know a lot of these guys. I do see Drew Sanders, the linebacker in Denver, being drafted in my IDP leagues by the good players, but right after Edwards or Campbell in Detroit. So I think Sanders was a good pick. I don't know the Saints defensive tackle that you tapped, or Zach Evans, the running back on the Rams. This is a fun format, though, to reach. I had the #2. I punted last year, but someone in my league out-punted me and got the #1. I'm desperate for a quarterback. I opened this league with Zach Wilson and Jared Goff, thinking Wilson would be the guy. Trevor Lawrence went 1 pick ahead of me last year. So instead of Lawrence and contending, I got Zach Wilson and punted. I ended up getting the 2 overall. Our out-punter took Anthony Richardson 1 overall. I was not happy about that. And I'm sitting there with Bijan Robinson thinking I could take Bijan. I'm not going to contend without a second quarterback in this Superflex league. It is just so tough without a quarterback. So I like Bryce Young. I traded down. I got a second round pick next year, and I took Young at 3 overall. That will secure my quarterback. And I love this format. I've got some reaches that I made as well. Kendre Miller, the Saints running back, who I love, at 14 overall for me. Hendon Hooker in the 3rd round. I'm gobbling up Hooker in all my dynasty leagues. I liked what I saw at Tennessee. No pressure to start him this year in a dynasty league. Jalen Hyatt, this guy's value is in the toilet for some reason.
I don't know. I don't know how.
One of the first hand-picked receivers by this offensive new regime by the Giants. They picked this guy out of Tennessee. Nobody wants to touch him just because Paris Campbell and Wendell Robinson and a bunch of other guys are in that room. Don't worry about it. It's a dynasty league. The cream will rise to the top. I'm taking Hyatt everywhere. So having a lot of fun with my dynasty leagues. I've done 15 leagues right now, whether they're dynasty or some straight ones. I've got 3 to go. I'll play an 18 overall. I'm Mr. Justin Fields this year. I've got Fields as the #1 overall scorer in the game this year. I believe he'll be the #1 drafted quarterback as soon as next year. I'm huge on Nick Chubb, PPR or not. I don't care. I think he could run for 2,000 yards. I'm kind of big on Deshaun Watson, too. I know you say anything can happen, and I do like the UCLA backup. But I think it's in the script that he took his lumps And then in year 2, he wins the MVP. I think that was a negotiated settlement in the suspension return. He says, okay, I'll be the scapegoat here. I'll take my lumps. I'm winning MVP in year 2. Goodell signs off on it. Browns go to the Super Bowl. Deshaun Watson MVP. So I've got Chubb and Watson in a bunch of leagues, and I make a bunch of crazy picks, but it's a great time of year. I'm thrilled to talk fantasy football with everybody in our community, and this show has been a revelation to our network. I loved it the first time I watched it, and just a fantastic outfit that you have tonight. I enjoyed the nurse's outfit with the gloves when you brought that out when you lost the bet, and I'm looking forward to doing a lot more Monday Night Rants.
Oh, this next year is going to be fantastic, especially on Monday nights. But let's tell the people, because if you have the Bettor Sports Network app, you may have noticed a little change lately. It looks a little different. Can you explain what we're doing there, what people can look forward to this NFL season, which I think is fantastic?
Absolutely. We had an auto update happen, and we've developed on top of our innovative technology, we've built on top of it kind of activate our gamification part of our business, which we've always had since day one. We had incredible technology, innovative tech that you could win a prize at the push of a button. We could geolocate our audience, see where they are, call in at the touch of a button. But now we've gone even further, going 24/7 gamification on the BettorCast app. So what this basically means is you'll be able to play very cool trivia contests. You'll be able to participate in live question and answer predictive sporting events during games like Monday Night Football tonight, the Ravens and Washington. We'll be able to ask you questions as the game is rolling out, and you can predict what's going to happen next. We'll have some trivia in there as well. It's basically a watch, play, and win experience where we can all watch a game together all around the country, chat together in real time, win prizes, have fun, and answer questions about what's going to happen next? Who's the smartest person in the room when it comes to the NFL? I know it's not me, but we'll build it in a number of ways that it'll be fun and inclusive for everybody. I think, part of the cornerstones of what we want to do is build a community and never talk down to people or over people's heads, and kind of bring more people into the space and show them how fun it is to engage in sports and how many different ways we can do that in today's world. But the technology that's out there, it really is you dream it up and you could do it. So we built this super cool app called BettorCast. It's in the app stores now, and you download it for free, of course, and join our community. And we'll be rolling out in September a nightly featured live sporting event where everybody can come in, answer questions in real time, chat with our fans, and win prizes. We'll play for Fanatics gift cards, so you could buy memorabilia and merchandise of your favorite athletes if you can take home some of our contests, and you'll have to beat out Edward Raus. He's pretty good in that trivia. He knows a little bit about everything, and we like to have a lot of fun. What we've done with the Front Yard Fantasy crew, doing pub trivia on Monday nights and showing that we can do game shows with this technology. We could do watch parties. We can have our favorite influencers or talk show hosts in the BettorCast app, watching the game along with all of us, asking questions in real time, and having a lot of fun. So really, the sky's the limit. Can't wait to be able to roll this out, do some innovative game shows, have fun with our community. And all of our talk shows will be available on YouTube. So we're free and streaming everywhere on YouTube at Bettor Sports Network. All of our shows are archived. And now with the BettorCast app, there's just so much we can do going into this football season. And here comes NBA and NHL. So a nightly matchup every single night. But it's not just about that. You'll be able to go on there in the middle of the day and play 90s quarterback trivia for 15 minutes and answer questions, by yourself, and win tickets and win prizes, and to be able to gain free entries into some of our influencers exclusive Q&As. And we'll have Coop in the app and get dishing out advice, and we'll be able to win experiences with our team here, and we'll be able to kind of all watch the game together and see who's the smartest in the room and have a lot of fun. So thanks for asking about that. I'm super pumped.
Me too.
Look forward in September, but if you had the Bettor Sports Network app on your phone, it's now BettorCast, and we're so proud of what we've been able to roll out and can't wait to play along with you. Yeah,
it's been a magical year, to say the least. Now, okay, if you do Madden cover trivia, Heavy T's got it. Nobody even bother that. That would be a lot of fun. But yeah, the sky is the limit with BettorCast, everybody. I'm telling you, if you haven't yet, go on the App Store after you finish the show, of course, and download the app. A lot of good things are coming the way of the Bettor Sports Network, and it's all based on the mind and brain of our own Bettor boss, Matt Deutsch. Well, Matt, boldest, well, you've already given quite a few, actually.
I got him. Let's do it. I got more. I mean, don't get me going on Taylor Heineke. Everybody's sick of me with the Taylor Heineke. It's not that I don't like Desmond Ritter. I think Ritter's fine, and I'm all over Atlanta this year. I've got Pitts everywhere. I've got London everywhere. I didn't like London coming out of college, but he proved enough to me last year. I'm in. People are afraid they're not going to throw the ball enough. I like that division. I like Carolina to be sneaky. I like the Saints to be sneaky. I think the only team that can't win that division is Tampa Bay. Yeah. So, I've got a bunch of crazy takes out there. I had called Jets Lions in the Super Bowl last year for this year. So I didn't say they were going to happen last year. I said at the beginning of the 2022, I said in my 2023 pick is Lions Jets. I knew the Jets were one quarterback away. I didn't think it would be Aaron Rodgers. And now I don't want to root for this guy. I don't like him. Obviously a great quarterback, amazing for the sport, amazing drama, good for New York. I'm not a fan. So it's going to be torn for me because my prediction, 2 years out, I'm still big on the Lions, but I think the Bears have enough with Fields as the number one overall. I like the weapons in Chicago a lot. Claypool, Mooney, Moore. I would take all of them in my fantasy drafts at various points, and you'll be very happy that you did. What are the other crazy takes out there? I'm trying to tell you what.
I think the Deshaun Watson MVP was
the Browns. Yeah, I like the Browns. Yeah. Well, I got some Chubb MVP too.
Okay, that makes a little bit more sense than Deshaun Watson.
And Justin Jefferson MVP. You can get great odds here because the receiver will never win. The receiver has never won it. But if someone's going to win it, if Minnesota goes to the playoffs, they don't have a good defense. They obviously have a good offense. But if they make the playoffs and Justin Jefferson has an all-world year, just like Nick Chubb, if the Browns make the playoffs and Chubb has an all-world year, I think you could be looking at a running back or a receiver winning the MVP. Despite my Deshaun Watson, it's in the script. I think Justin Jefferson is a fair bet at plus 10,000.
For a receiver, yes. I'm surprised, no receiver has ever won MVP, right? Not even Jerry Rice those years or anything.
I thought Rice won one. I might be wrong. You're probably right. You're the historian.
Yeah, but still, though, it's hard. It's a quarterback award. They should kind of get rid of that and just have quarterback of the year and make MVP because there's been years where I'm really, you're going to give it to Aaron. Okay, all due respect to Aaron Rodgers, 3 years ago or 2 years ago, did he really deserve to win MVP that year? With what Derrick Henry did that year, with what it just. I don't know. It's just always a quarterback, and it's kind of So obviously, all the votes are going towards quarterback, but nope, you are right. No wide receiver has ever won MVP. There you go.
I was wrong. I thought Rice won one.
Yeah, I thought so too, but that's even more surprising. He had one of the greatest years of receiving history. How did
Mark Mosley? Yeah, the kicker Mark Mosley in 1983 won the MVP.
Jesus. So, yeah, a lot of changes need to happen there. But you're right. You can get great value right now at these other players. You just hope that maybe quarterbacks aren't as good as they normally are. Pat Mahomes isn't as great as we think he's going to be. Obviously, he's going to be good. So, I got a bold take for you. We'll see if you like it or not. The Packers win the NFC North.
Ugh, nobody wants to see that.
Nobody.
That's a good take. Nobody wants to see that. It's a fair take. I've got a lot of AJ Dillon. I think he's extremely undervalued. People hate him. But yeah, why not? The Bears, they don't have a great defense. I think Detroit, my darlings, I think they're a little flawed. I like the offense. I wish the defense would come along a little bit more. I was very big on this Malcolm Rodriguez, middle linebacker out of Boise State. Didn't play that well. They're still playing Alex Anzalone in there. He's not that good of a linebacker. Their defense is not there yet. We'll see what this rookie Campbell does. I'm sold on Aiden Hutchinson. I think when Jamison Williams comes back, I think the offense will be elite. I haven't given you any Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'll take him as high as 6 in a PPR this year. I'm huge on him. I just haven't been able to get him. But I think the Lions or the Bears, I wouldn't think the Vikings could win it. So, yeah, that's a good take, Green Bay.
Mm-hmm. I think the kind of for the first time in a long time, kind of under the radar. Aaron Rodgers is behind him. The division isn't as good as they have been. And it's just, I could just kind of see them having one of those, or the whole division really ends up being like just one game over 500, but they have the record against their own for the tiebreaker to win the division. It's like, I can see that happening like right in front of our eyes. I do like the Saints a lot though in the South. That offense has looked really good. Once Kamara's done with his suspension, they got 3-headed running back monster there. They got great receivers. Carr has a chip on his shoulder. He's already shown it. He's going to play his little heart out. Don't sleep on the Saints for winning that division and maybe even a deep run in the playoffs.
I think the best head coach in the division is Frank Reich, and I think you're going to see him make a substantial difference to Carolina, which is going to have a very well-constructed offense. Rookie mistakes from Bryce Young and all, but I think that Miles Sanders is the top 5 running back. There's a hot take for you.
That's hot. That offensive line.
They're going to dump that ball. He's going to catch 80 balls. He's going to catch 80 balls.
I can see that happening. Yeah.
And they are going to workhorse him, and he's going to be able to take it. And Hayden Hurst, superstar in that team this year. I think the Carolina offense will be very respectable, and the defense is solid.
The defense is solid, yeah.
And he's the best head coach in that division. I can't bet on the Saints with that head coach. I like Atlanta. I think Carolina is a good bet for that division, but it'll be a lot of fun to see what happens there.
Yeah, I'm still not all the way sold on Bryce Young. I know you are. You talk up on him, and we'll never know until we see it on paper, right? I still think C.J. Stroud was probably going to end up having the better career than he does, but just what I've seen in the preseason. I know it's preseason, but that offensive line needs help and quickly because the season started in like 2 weeks. And that scares me a little bit about the Panthers, especially with Bryce Young, who is the lightest weight-wise quarterback in the NFL.
It's a concern. These guys fill out. I'm hoping from a dynasty perspective, he does, but it is a concern, the size, but we see it happen in different ways. I mean, you see someone like RG3 come into the league and just get destroyed every single play.
Yeah, that was
And then
rough.
you see Lamar, who never takes a hit. Lamar, he gets hit tackled. He does not take hits. So hopefully Young will be a little bit more cerebral, a little smarter. I don't know about Stroud. He seems like a physical specimen. I'm not sure that the game's going to slow down for him.
Yeah, he's not as fast as Young, obviously not as fast as Richardson, but he just has that arm. I'm telling you. I know he had a lot of talent at Ohio State receiving wise, but he's gonna surprise a lot of people with his arm. It's better than people think it is. And if they can just keep some sort of offensive line around to keep a pocket, he's gonna get some rushing yards too, but he'll be able to zip that thing down to Nico Collins, who I think is going to have a huge year that's really being undervalued in drafts. I'm getting Nico Collins everywhere I can as my receiver 3, and he could end up putting up 2 or even 1 numbers.
So nobody wants him. That's why you're getting him. I'm on Robert Woods. Classic mistake for me. I love the veteran. I love the veteran that's on the field, the solidifying force in the huddle, a guy who could block. Right. This was Larry Fitzgerald for 3 years. I'm drafting this guy because he's always on the field and blocking. He never catches the pass. So I'm on Robert Woods. Probably won't work out. Mechie is everyone likes Mechie and now Tank Dell. I just don't think there's enough offense there to support any of those receivers. I think it's going to be an ugly, ugly year in Houston when it comes to the offense there. But, the good thing about playing fantasy football this year, especially in Dynasty, is as soon as you're 0-3, we're tanking for next year. It's all about Marvin Harrison. Marvin Harrison is the jewel. Obviously, there's good quarterbacks coming out.
He's the next Calvin Johnson.
But I think Marvin Harrison is the jewel worth losing an entry fee of a season and just tank and get this guy.
He will be the next Calvin Johnson. Now, where does he end up? And what I said earlier on the show, and now you just made my head go whoop, 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 is I think the Panthers will end up getting the number 1 first pick.
It's going to be tough because so many teams, there are going to be quarterbacks.
And Caleb Williams is going to be there.
It's going to be 1-2 QBs next year.
What if the Panthers have the first pick and they pick Harrison Jr. number 1 overall to go with Bryce?
Yeah, that'd be sick. They're not going to be that bad. They're not going to be that bad with that head coach.
Okay.
Arizona is going to be terrible. Arizona's going to be, and Houston's going to be terrible.
I really think Clayton Tune will be the starting quarterback week 1 for Arizona.
I got him in a few
I picked
leagues.
him up in all my 2 quarterback leagues too, just to have him in case that happens. But it looks like that's what's going to happen because McCoy does not look good anymore. So rough. It's going to be rough in Arizona too, for sure. Yeah. So Caleb Williams on Arizona next year. I think that's what's going to happen. I think you may be right.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen. And if you're playing fantasy this year in college, I hear he has a bye week 13. The number 1 pick in college football fantasy is off in week 13. So you got a little.
Oh yeah, USC has that weird bye before they do the
Notre
Notre Dame game.
A little bit of a dilemma if you draft Caleb number 1 overall. I learned that from my Campus to Canton guys. They're the best when it comes to college football.
Yeah, I love him. Obviously, I love Bo Nix for Oregon this year in college. He's on the ground and throwing. That Oregon team, they're ranked way too low in AP. They need to be a top 10 team. They're better than Washington. They're better than Utah. It's just crazy, the disrespect from a team who's led the West Coast in recruiting for the last 4 years over USC. So I think Oregon's going to surprise a lot of people this year with Bo Nix. So if you're doing college draft still, there's a week left. Bo Nix, Oregon quarterback, he will be in New York for the Heisman. I'm going to say he's going to win it. He will be there.
Well, you know your college.
There's my bold prediction. There's my bold prediction right there. Yeah.
Give us some winners. You know your college. Now is the time before they start to get your futures bets in.
Yeah, Oregon is really undervalued right now. And the AP poll, when it was released, made it even crazy. Like, put money on Oregon to win the Pac-12, the last year of the Pac-12. Put Oregon to make the playoffs is a good bet. If they have a really tough schedule because they have to play Washington and Penix. They have to play USC this year. If they beat those 2 teams, and they got to beat Utah, which is their kryptonite every year, if they just win out and beat those 3 teams, they're in the college football playoffs, and they can. And USC hasn't beaten Oregon in a very long time. Oregon has their number as well. So Caleb Williams is going to be a tough. It's just, and yeah, Oregon. Put money on Oregon right now before the value goes crazy after the first couple of weeks. So I do like that. Another, I like to bet money on Alabama not to make the playoffs this year too. I think Alabama, even though they're ranked 5th overall, I'm sure that's a bet out there. This team is finally, even under Nick Saban, finally to a point where they've been a little under recruiting. They don't have those 5-star immediately fill-ins like Bryce Young. They lost their receivers. Like that, the offense is going to be a little slow this year. Their defense will be great, but I think Alabama's going to struggle. And by the way, struggling for Alabama is losing 3 or 4 games. Let's be real. But that's enough to not make the college football playoffs. So I'm not so high on Alabama this year. I think it's the one year where they take a step back, and then next year they'll end up being bad. So, but I can talk about college football the rest of the night. We got to let you go, my friend. So thank you so much for joining the 1-year anniversary show. It's been a fun year. Thank you so much for giving me and Heavy TA platform to do this wonderful, the crazy things we do here. It's a lot of fun. So make sure you stay tuned for the 80 for Brady review with Heavy T.
I will. It's been awesome ride here. Love hanging out with the ranters every Monday night in the chat. We've had so much fun. Thanks for tolerating all my crazy takes and and carrying our platform on Monday nights and having a lot of fun, and big things to come in year 2.
That's right. Let's do it. Let's do it better, boss. All right. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right, everybody. Take care. Good luck this season.
Thank you. All right. Better boss himself here for the 1-year anniversary. A lot of hot takes, huh? Wow. But knowing about the Jets Lions a year in advance, that's crazy. That's fun. Deshaun Watson, like, the more he says it, I can actually see it now, and it's driving me crazy. That Browns team could actually surprise. They looked good in the preseason with their, their Calvin Austins or their Austin whatever. They have a pretty good offense. Now, the only concern with the Browns is if Chubb gets hurt, what do you got? Felton and Ford behind him. So they have to keep him in bubble wrap all week long for the games because he is the key to success for the Browns over Watson, over Cooper, all that. So if Nick Chubb has a 2,000-yard rushing year, the Browns could be with the Bengals to win that division. I can see it happening. So as crazy as that sounded, I can now see it happening in my head. You know what else I can see happening in my head? Winning my upcoming drafts this weekend and the weekend after. You know why I'm going to win those drafts? Because I'm using the Fantasy Alarm Draft Guide. It's no brainer. It is the best draft guide out there. It has everything, and it's always up to date for you. You want rankings because you have to leave right now and go to a draft, and you forgot to do it. You're freaking out. You got to go get buffalo chicken wings. Well, just print out the Howard Bender's cheat sheet. Boom, right there in front of you, live, up to date. Boom. And the best part is, all you got to do is start a free 7-day trial to get your all-pro access to Fantasy Alarm, and it comes with the draft guide and the cheat sheet, just like that. FantasyAlarm.com/draft. FantasyAlarm.com/draft. Free 7-day trial. Don't even think about using anything else for your drafts these next few weeks. All right. It is the moment we've all been waiting for. You've been waiting for. Heavy T is now a movie reviewer, and he reviewed a movie, 80 for Brady. Whether you've seen it or you haven't seen it, I'm not sure. I don't know, Heavy T, you just want to use that as the break, the video? And we'll just do it like that. And then when we come back, you can come on and we'll talk about it. We'll do it that way. I think we should put like a zeet out and say, come now, come all. It's time. This is going to be an event for all of history. A lot of emotion here you're about to see. Highs and lows, ups and downs. This guy is a Falcons fan, a lifelong Falcons fan, watching 80 for Brady. I did my best at bleeping out the curses. I did my best. You could see the emotion. All right. Here it is for everyone's enjoyment. Let's go full screen on this. Show everybody what we got here. This is Heavy T's movie review of 80 for Brady. I don't hear any volume. That was it. No, I'm kidding. Apparently, we have zero volume, so we're going to try to re-cue that up so you can actually hear it and see it as we go forward. It is a sight to be seen, so let's make sure we do it. Is there no way to load it up into the restream, Heavy T, or can we? Is it too big, too long? That's too big. Of course it is. So here's what we'll do. Can we play it? Or do we just go to a break, come back, talk about it, and then you can put it up on YouTube? Okay, he's working on it. Okay. So that could work too. But yeah, it's a lot of emotion, a lot of fun. So technical difficulties, I'm sorry, here on the 1-year anniversary, but you know, it is a long clip. It's not a normal 2 or 3 minute for the breaks. So 28-20 right now, the Ravens, for all you preseason followers. Some things tonight, obviously the McLaurin injury. I don't know the extent of it. Probably more precautionary than anything. He was limping a little bit, grimacing. He didn't go in the blue tent. He did go to the locker room. He wasn't carted off. That's a good sign. So we'll see the extent of that. Anthony Brown did come in to replace Josh Johnson. 4 touchdown passes between the 2 quarterbacks for the Ravens. And it's Josh Johnson and Anthony Brown. Ooh, scary for the Commanders defense there. That is for sure. Let's see here. Fullback has 2 of them, and Vokalek. Tylan Wallace has 1, and Zay Flowers, of course, with the first one. A lot of backups here. Melvin Gordon again. I just don't see how he makes this team. It's going to be tough for him going forward. On the other side of the ball, like we talked about, the Commanders, Sam Howell looked pretty good again. I've said it time in and time out. He looks good. He looks like he can make NFL throws. Yeah, he's a little slow. He's a pocket quarterback. He's not going to get out and run the ball. Maybe not extend very many plays, but Jared Gossip the same way. He has the weapons around him. I don't see why he couldn't be a capable quarterback of being a good NFL player and starting quarterback in the NFL to that regards. Jahan Dotson has had a good game, 5 for 76. I kind of under the radar, kind of like him, even with McLaurin still there, and even with Curtis Samuel. I'm not a big Curtis Samuel guy. I know he started last year like super crazy good, and he kind of slowed down after that. I just don't see him being anything more than not even a true number 3. Just kind of, he'll have his days where he'll have crazy games and dominate, but then every 5 games in between, not very good. All right, I think we are queued up here finally for Heavy T review. Ladies and gentlemen, 80 for Brady.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy, Heavy T, Tyler Soto. And this is for the 50th show / 1-year anniversary of Monday Night Rants. And Edward is very lucky that I enjoy working for him, because I would not be doing this for any other reason. But we have sat down. We are finally going to take some time, and we are going to watch this American classic, 80 for Brady. I already hate it here. Let's see how this goes. So we are 2 minutes, give or take 2 or 3 minutes into this movie. I already hate it, okay? So on the mantle in the living room of these women, by the way, if you don't know the story of 80 for Brady, it's about 4 women who follow Tom Brady from the AFC title game to the Super Bowl, right? So we're 3 minutes into this movie. One of them has a bust of Tom Brady on the mantle. Goes up, kisses it on the forehead. Not gonna lie, a little weird, but I understand the superstition thing, okay? I get it, all right? So they go to the kitchen, right? All of them have Brady jerseys. 2 of those Brady jerseys are missing nameplates. What was the budget on these jerseys? Why are we not filling these out? What are we doing here, okay? It looks bad. From a critical standpoint, it looks bad. And as a sports standpoint, it looks stupid. And then they all get to the kitchen, or they all get to the living room, and one of them says, like, oh, I prefer Gronk these days as opposed to Brady. And then the other one says, oh, yeah, we're aware. We've all read your Gronk erotica. What? Huh? What? Okay, there's been one good joke in here so far. So in order to get the tickets to go to the Super Bowl to follow Brady there's some kind of radio station in this movie that's holding a contest, basically. They want to hear a story on why you should go to the Super Bowl, and, you know, the best story wins 4 tickets, whatever, so all 4 of them can go. So one of the people in this movie, I guess, lives in a nursing home, and she's going around with all her friends in the nursing home trying to figure out who can make up the best sob story, and one of them literally picks up the phone and says, hello, my name is so-and-so. Me and my 4 friends are dying, which is the dark humor I absolutely love. Oh, it was actually really good. I will give it to that movie. That was good. Okay, we're about 25 minutes in. I will admit, this movie does have a couple good jokes in it, like just a couple good solo jokes. It's okay. There is one part where they get to the hotel in Houston, and this part's pretty funny because there's a bunch of cardboard cutouts of the players who are in the Super Bowl. And one of them just straight up picks up the cardboard cutout of Julian Edelman and says, I'm taking him home because he's cute. And I'm like, okay, that's actually kind of funny. I will let them have that. It's kind of funny. But yeah, still only 25 minutes in, whole another hour to go, so we'll see. So we've reached the part in the movie to where they make it to Houston. They're at the Super Bowl Experience. By the way, if you've never been, absolutely go. It's really great. But yeah, they're at the Super Bowl Experience. And one of the old ladies, basically, they go to like this passing competition thing, and they have basically you throw the balls in a net, right? And so she goes up against this guy who's wearing a Matt Ryan jersey, and she says, if I beat you, you have to give up your jersey. And he says, fine. So she ends up winning, and so she says double or nothing, and he says deal. So he does it again. So they cut away from the scene. They come back to about 5 minutes later. She is straight winning money, hustling everybody, and there's a pile of Falcons gear on the ground. And you know, I for one cannot stand for the shellacking of just an underdog team in general. I find this very upsetting. I mean, don't know what loser would be a fan of that team. Nobody in particular. But yeah. So we're partially way through this movie, and yeah, Guy Fieri's in it though. That's kind of cool. All right, we got about 40 minutes left in this movie. I will admit, it's not completely terrible. It's okay. It's got some cute moments in it. But now it's game time. And I may switch my tune just a little bit because, yeah. Painful memories. Yeah. We're now at the part of the movie where it is in the second quarter and the Falcons are up 14-0. I know how this is going to end, but I'm riding the high. We're riding the lightning. We're up for now. We're up for now, and we'll leave it at that. So we're at the halftime performance, 21-3 Atlanta. Things are looking good. We might win this. Just might. It's officially 28-3. I'm starting to believe we're going to put this hat forward. There's no way we can lose this. We are winning this game. There's no way. One of the guys in the movie just said that the Patriots have a 0.7% chance of winning this game, meaning the Falcons have 99.3. This shit is locked up. Give me the Lombardi. Let's go, baby. So, the four old ladies break into the coordinator's office in the stadium, middle of the third quarter, and the reason the Patriots come back from 28-3, which, by the way, stress. The reason that this team comes back from 28-3 is because this old lady gives Tom Brady a speech through the microphone in his helmet about how when she had chemo 16 years ago because she had cancer or whatever, that basically it was seeing Tom Brady come in as a second-year QB and doing everything that he did that inspired her to keep fighting. I'm going to say something that's going to send me to hell. I wish this lady died. That was my Super Bowl. How come I don't get to be happy? I want this lady gone. It is 20-28 in the fourth quarter with just under 6 minutes left, and we're not going to win this game. We're going to blow it. They just showed the Edelman catch. This is my hell. This is my... You know what? Julian Edelman? Okay? It is overtime. We're losing. This game's over. We're losing. I don't even know why I bother wearing this hat anymore. It's over. We're losing. Game is over. Falcons have lost. This is my personal hell. Don't need that no more. It's over. It's all over, man. It's just... doesn't get any better! Alright, I had to come outside and take a little bit of a breather, but I'll be real. From a Hollywood standpoint, that's an okay movie. It's got some moments. It's whatever. It's an okay movie. From a personal standpoint, fuck you, Tom Brady. Fuck you, New England. Fuck you, Patriots. Fuck you, stupid old ladies. It was my moment. It was my moment. And I stood in this yard shouting fuck from the rooftops after they blew that game. That was my moment. You took it away. Watch this movie. It's not terrible.
Watch the movie. It's not terrible. There he is. MET. Oh, man. That was Wade in the chat says he knows you knew what was going to happen and it's still so painful.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to be honest. So experiencing everything I did watching that movie, that is exactly how I felt on the date of February 5th, 2017 at about 3 p.m. I was so high, riding the lightning, like we're having a great time. It's 28-3. We're going to win this game. And I will never forget this. I will never forget this. My girlfriend at the time, she's over at my place with my family. You know, we're watching the Super Bowl and everything. And she was more a fan of Brady than the Patriots. I'll give her that. And I will never forget because she was pissed. She wasn't saying anything. And I looked at her straight and I said, if anyone would come back and win this game, it would be him. And what the hell happens?
Well, now we know the true story of what happened. 4 old ladies went into the offensive coordinator's booth, got into Tom Brady's head, and gave him, motivation. And now you know.
Look, number one, F that old lady. Okay, screw her. That's number one. Number two, where the hell is NRG? Is in Houston, Texas. Where the hell is NRG security? You guys have guns down there. This is Texas. Where's the security? What are we doing here?
Well,
what kind of child's play security is this?
Well, I think because the 4 ladies did the dancing to get them into the game.
Oh, excuse me. Let's bust the move like we're playing DDR. Oh, let's get in. Oh my God, we're in. Get the hell out of here with that crap, dude. Like, oh my God.
And then for some reason, one of them just happened to be kind of talking to somebody else who had a suite.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
It's just an interesting turn after events that
because what do old people need? They already win the lotto all the time. They already have magic Viagra pills for your junk. Oh, let's give you Super Bowl wins on top of that. It's not like they need anything else. Nothing.
But overall, from the review, from what I saw, it looked like the first 25 minutes of the movie you were actually kind of enjoying it a little bit.
I was trying my best to go into it with an open mind. You have a couple good jokes here and there. Look, honestly, if you're like my parents' age, and both my parents are late 50s, early 60s, it's a good movie. It's okay. That's
we got to find a rating scale that we can give you for these.
Let's see. If I'm ranking it between
how many pickles?
How many?
The more pickles, the worse the movie. Yeah, it's like Rotten Tomatoes, but with pickles.
But the opposite way around. More pickles, worse.
Yeah,
the
because
movie.
you hate pickles so much. So if you how many pickles would you have to eat to never watch the movie again?
I'll you know what? For this one, I'd put it down the middle. I'd say it's about 5 pickles.
5 pickles. Okay.
Yeah, so 5 pickles.
Are we out of 10?
It's not the best. It's not the worst. It makes me violently ill, but it's okay. It clouds my head with dark thoughts, but you know what? For the general population, I guess it's okay.
I can see the emotion arise towards the end where you stop talking about the movie and all the clips were about the game. And I can see your emotion when you go, they showed the Edelman catch.
I'm not even joking. So aside from the Edelman catch and aside from the Julio Jones catch, which were I'll be honest with the Edelman catch, it's one of the best catches ever. And the Julio Jones thing, if the Falcons win that game, everyone's talking about the Julio Jones catch. Nobody's talking about the Edelman catch. But because of the way it turned out, it's flipped. Besides those 2 plays, I have never seen a single highlight from that game. I watched it once, all the way through, and up until the viewing of this movie, I had never seen a single highlight. And I wished I would have kept it that way. But
I've seen plenty of James White James White highlights from that game. That's for sure.
That I'm not even joking. So like I've learned a lot of my sports stuff from YouTube, especially old highlight clips, top tens, greatest moments in whatever history. Anytime I see a play from that Super Bowl, automatically hit like the 10 button with the circle around it to fast forward. Like, nope, not watching every single time from that Super Bowl. I refuse to watch anything from that Super Bowl. To this day, I still hate Kyle Shanahan for it. It was all his fault. And I'll never forget this either. So I'm working at NBC at the time, and we won't have we had a guest on. I won't say who he was. He was a dude from Philly, though, pretty famous. We'll leave it at that. But he was in a bunch of those. It was not Kevin Hart. He was
Will
in a
Smith.
bunch of those. It was not Will Smith. No, it was not. He was in a bunch of those NFL top 10 videos that NFL Network used to run like all the time. So we had him on as a guest one day. And I asked him straight up, because I said, hey, I love your work with the top 10s or whatever. And ironically, I had just finished watching the one where I think it's like top 10 forgotten plays. And I think Julio's catch on there is an honorable mention. And I told him, like, yeah, you know, that's something I can't really go back and watch. And he said straight up, he's like, you know, I asked around after that. And Matt Ryan will not say that game, the blown lead, was Kyle Shanahan's fault for the bad play calling. He won't say it. But his brother will. Like his brother absolutely rips Shanahan, I guess, every now and then, and I always thought that was super hilarious. But yeah, man, it was a painful day, and I always make the joke that was like the first day I ever became truly depressed, and I've never been happy since. But like, it's just I don't, other than Bills fans, I don't think any fan base can really hold a candle to being that close and having it ripped out from you. I really don't think, in such a dramatic fashion too. Like, it's just brutal. Absolutely brutal.
Hopefully I never have to go through something like that, but I never even get a chance to even getting that close. So
I mean, like, you could, at least you could say you went to the Super Bowl, but like your game was a blowout, but you're like, oh, hey, we
lost to the San Francisco Jerry Rices.
Yeah, there you go. And Steve Young's 6 TDs that game.
Yeah.
And like, you know, before this Super Bowl, I could have said the same thing. Like, hey, we had the one against Denver. We got blown out. It's what
John
it is.
Elway. That was one of the best Denver teams of all time.
Yeah, it was a great team. They went nearly undefeated the entire year, and they honestly, they should have faced Minnesota. There was no reason Minnesota should have lost that NFC title game. But you know, we could say that like, oh hey, we made it, we got blown out, but you know, we got there, and that's okay.
That was an overtime missed kick by Morton Anderson, wasn't it?
Yeah, overtime. No, Morton Anderson misses the kick that would have put it out of reach. I think it would have put him up by 10 with about 6 minutes left. So he misses the kick. Gary Anderson actually misses that kick.
Gary Anderson, that's right.
Yeah, Gary Anderson misses that kick for the first time in 2 years, because I'll never forget that radio call.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Falcons march down the field, tie the game, send it to overtime. Morton Anderson is the one that sends it through the uprights and sends them to the Super Bowl. There's absolutely no way that Minnesota should have lost that game. Absolutely.
Anderson versus Anderson.
Yeah, literally.
The Anderson Bowl.
Yeah. The ironic thing is that Morton Anderson, I believe, ended up kicking for the Vikings later in his career, which is, there it is.
I think he did too, yeah. And, by the way, that was one of the best running back years from any running back in the history of the NFL that's kind of unforgotten, is Jamal Williams' year that year.
Yeah, and I believe that's also, you know why it gets overshadowed? Because I believe that's the same year that Emmitt Smith hit 2000. Not Emmitt Smith, Terrell Davis.
Terrell Davis, correct.
Yeah, I believe that's the same year he hit 2000. So it is definitely a lost, forgotten year. And then I think the next year he rips his ACL and he's just never the same after.
Never the same ever.
Yeah, I mean, like Chris Chandler wasn't anything remotely close to that year. The defense kind of took a step back. I mean, Tuggle was old at that point. What's his name? You forgetting his name. It's like Eugene Robinson or whatever. Gets arrested the night before the Super Bowl for soliciting a hooker. It's like everything that could go wrong goes wrong. Dan Reeves never wins a Super Bowl. All hope is lost. You know, the Dirty Bird becomes a distant memory now. All Atlanta has is just Waffle Houses and the Braves. So like it's brutal, man. At least they can hang their hat on Georgia football. You know, they have that going for them right now.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be the team to beat in college. Well, we'll see. There's a couple of quarterback questions and stuff there for Georgia, but they also have the Hawks. They have the Hawks too. They're
Oh yeah, no, that's going downhill fast. Like, let's be real here. That's going downhill pretty fast. I will say this: my hot take, since we're all doing hot takes and we only got about 3 minutes left.
I was going to ask you what's the bold prediction, hot take of the season.
For NFL, give me a second. I will come back to that. For college football, I think my hot take is that Ohio State ends up winning it all. It's like I think I think it'll get to the point. I don't know if Alabama can get back up there again. I think Georgia will either lose in the playoff or they'll lose to an SEC team during the season. Probably more likely the playoff. So people, I think, forget that Ohio State took them to the brink last year. It wasn't for that awful kick at the very, very end. But that's my college football hot take. I do have a baseball one. This is going to be interesting. I think the Dodgers end up going and winning it all.
Oh God!
Yeah, I know that hates. I know it sucks for you to hear, but Houston's kind of taken a step back. The Mariners have gotten really hot. The Braves, I mean, they're good, but can they hold it in the playoffs? You know, and then the Dodgers just look pretty much unstoppable. They've won every game of their last 14 except for like one, so they look pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and say that they end up winning it all. And as far as the NFL goes, I'm going to stick with my one hot take, and that was that Green Bay ends up being a number 1 pick contention.
No way.
We'll see, man.
No way. You're sticking to it, but they've looked good in the preseason. I know it's preseason, but
hey, you know who looked good in the preseason? The 2008 Lions went 4-0. What happened? They went 0-16 in the regular season.
I'm not talking about the records. I'm talking about the first team offense against first team defenses when the game starts.
I'm just saying. Want to throw out stats? I'll throw out stats. I got you, man. I'm just saying. All right, man. We got about a minute left. Take us out of here.
Cool. Well, everybody, that was it. Year 1 is in the books. The Raiders look great every preseason. Love it. Year 1 is in the books. Thank you so much to Bettor Boss himself, Matt Deutsch, for joining us tonight. A lot of fun. Year 2 is going to be just as fun. This year for football season, we have so much to do and talk about, plus fun games, make the cut, heavy tease game. We're going to be playing more of that. The Guillotine League next week, like 4 spots left. I'll put the link up on the X everywhere. Join. Football season is here, baby. Go to Rival Fantasy, join rival.com/alarm. Get your $200 deposit. Play some bingo with me each and every week. Make it a challenge. FantasyAlarm.com. Get your free 7-day trial. Get your draft guides and cheat sheets so you can dominate your drafts these next few weekends. From myself, Heavy T, Thomas Stevens to the Bettor Sports Network. Bettor Boss, everyone here. It's time for a new year, baby. Let's go. 2003 NFL season.